Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making blueberry lemon sourdough. I'm so excited to share this one because it's one of my all-time favorites and this one turned out so beautiful. We're going to be using just a classic sourdough recipe, so whichever one is your favorite will work great, but I've linked mine here because I think it is perfect. We're going to do 100 grams of active bubbly sourdough starter and 350 grams of room temperature water. Make sure to take your bowl off the scale before you mix it up so that you don't get your scale off balance. And then go ahead and add 500 grams of bread flour and 10 grams of salt. Once you've got all your ingredients, you're going to mix it up really good. I love to use a Dutch whisk for this, so I'll link mine in the comments because I think it really helps incorporate all the flour and it makes the job a lot easier. I really like to make sure to scrape down the sides and fold that back into my mixture as I'm mixing it up. And there you go, there's a shaggy dough that we're going to let rest for 30 minutes before we do any stretch and folds. Alright, it's been 30 minutes, so we're going to do our first round of stretch and folds. I like to have my hands just a little bit wet to help with this so that it doesn't pull on the dough and the dough's not ripping in between my fingers. So you're just going to grab one side, stretch it and fold it all the way over, do a quarter turn, stretch the dough, fold it all the way over. You're going to do that 4 times to make it all the way around the circle. Once you've done your 4 stretch and folds, we're going to put the towel back on, rest for another 30 minutes, and we're going to do more stretch and folds. After this round, I usually switch to coil folds because my dough's got a little bit of tension. So coil fold, you're just going to lift up in the middle, stretch it out, and tuck the ends in the middle on the bottom. As you can see, the dough is not super flimsy just because it's a medium hydration dough. So you might have to work with it a little bit. As you can see, I'm kind of helping it out. This is my last round of stretch and folds. And so I like to make sure it's in a really nice snug ball so that it will bulk ferment really beautifully. Just be careful when you're doing this to not rip the top of your dough. You just want it taut. I like to cover mine with saran wrap, and we're gonna bulk ferment this. Alright, it's the next day. I fermented overnight because that is what my timeline allowed. You feel free to do whatever works best for you. My dough is so perfectly ready. It's pulling away from the sides like that. It's got bubbles, it's smooth and domed. I have a video on bulk fermentation, so if you're having trouble knowing if your dough is quite done with bulk fermentation, is it too far, is it not ready yet, I'll have that linked so you can check that out. Alright, we are laminating our dough and then we're going to add our inclusions. A lot of people like to add inclusions during stretch and folds, and that's totally fine. If you love to do that, then go ahead and do that. Personally, I prefer to add it during the lamination phase and do it when I'm shaping my dough, especially with the fresh blueberries because they will definitely get smashed, and I kind of like the whole blueberries in my bread. Whatever works for you is great. So I'm adding lemon zest right here. I've zested about 2 lemons for this loaf. We're just going to smear the lemon zest on the inside and sprinkle lots of blueberries. I'm going to push the blueberries in just gently enough so that they stick, and then I'm going to fold the dough in thirds on top of itself. I'm pinching the sides to make sure that none of the zest or blueberries sneak out. And then we're going to do more lemon zest and blueberries in this middle section before we roll it up. Okay, we're gonna roll that puppy up and just make sure you're getting all those blueberries and lemon zest in the middle so that they don't sneak out. And we're gonna do some very, very gentle push and pulls to do our shaping. I'm going a little bit too far, and I can see that now. In the moment, I really wanted it to be super tight, but now I can see where I went wrong. You're gonna flour that real good, flour your basket really good, and put your dough in there. As you can see, some of those blueberries popped out. That's totally fine. It's not gonna ruin your loaf. I was hoping to keep them all on the inside, but it is what it is. Next time, I will have to be more gentle with my shaping. About 10 minutes later, I came back to do some stitching just to try and kind of tighten everything up. I usually do this with all of my loaves, so this isn't any different. But as you can see, the blueberries are just ripping through every time I try to tighten that up. And that's totally fine. I think it's just because the blueberries were wet, and so it's making my dough really delicate. So you live and you learn. Just make sure you don't shape it too tightly like I did. Okay, it's proofed for a couple hours. A little sticky there. That's totally fine. And we're gonna score it. For my really big inclusion loaves, I really like to stick to just a basic scoring pattern, especially with the flavors that are going to poke through, and they might just distort the scoring design. So I'm not going to spend too much time on making that part look very intricate because I think it might be wasted effort. But I did put some water on the top of my dough, and I'm just doing a big S score so it will expand really nicely. And then I'm going to take this crystal sugar and just kind of sprinkle it all over the top. And then we're going to go and bake this in a Dutch oven. I'm using an oval Dutch oven that I'll link. I love this so much because you get the prettiest oval loaves. I baked mine at 450 degrees with the lid on for 20 minutes. And then I dropped the temperature down to 425 and I baked for another 15. I didn't want the top to get too dark and crispy, so that's why I dropped the temperature. With a more savory or my classic loaf, I don't usually drop. I usually leave the temperature at 450 degrees. And this is the result. A beautiful, beautiful loaf with those blueberries just adding such a gorgeous color. All right, let's cut into this baby. Oh yeah, look at that creme. Look at those blueberries just glistening on the inside there. I can't wait to dig into this. If you like this recipe, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, subscribe to my channel and hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post anything. If you have a favorite sourdough recipe or any inclusion flavors that you think would just be so great, I would love to try them. So please leave that in the comments below and I'm gonna make a video on it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.